You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid. I am Mike Finkelstein. With me, as always, is
Josh Schaefer, man.
Josh Schaefer, man. That's your intro saying we're talking about Mega Man today, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just as an intro to the intro, I know that I've been going through the entire Mega Man series again, poorly, because I suck at these games, to write reviews of them for the website. I don't know what your long history with Mega Man is, but I pretty much tried to play 2 when I was young and sucked at it, and 1 afterwards, and I really sucked at it. And I liked Mega Man 3. Mega Man 3 was fun. 4 I didn't like, even back then. And then I liked 5, but going back to it now, like, which we'll get into in detail, I don't like it as much as I used to. How did you get to the Mega Man series when you were growing up?
When I was in elementary school, I had a Nintendo, as many young kids our age,
of our generation, yes.
And I had Mega Man 2, and I played the hell out of it.
It was a fun game.
It was fun. It wasn't very good as far as my sanity was concerned.
Yeah.
But I remember calling in the old school Nintendo helpline a couple times because I got stuck, and and then my mom would yell at me for a $20 call too. And
oh yeah, because you'd get on the line with them and they try to suck every dime they could out of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, well, let me look at the instruction manual.
Doom, 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 doom. Yeah. So let's go through the series, kind of like I'm doing right now, because
sure.
I mean, people can read my reviews on them, but I'm curious on getting your input. Let's start at the beginning. What are your opinions on the first Mega Man game?
It was
certainly a game.
Ungodly difficult.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are harder games in the series if you dig deep enough, but that game definitely is tough. I mean, just the simple fact that you get hit by an enemy onto spikes and then still die. Mm-hmm. That's something no other game in the series did, for good reason.
Not gonna lie, I never beat that game until very recently.
When you were using the save state feature on the Mega Man Legacy Collection?
Yep, exactly.
I see speedrunners play through that game in like 12 minutes. I'm sitting there going, I can't even get through one of the stages in 12 minutes.
If it wasn't for those safe...
Yeah.
Just thinking about it is making my blood pressure rise. My Apple Watch is about to beep. But,
yeah.
I mean, I like the first one. It's classic.
There are some concepts to it I enjoy. I think like Elecman and Cutman, Fireman...
Cutman's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and Iceman, they're iconic. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone is sad that Gutsman and Bombman are largely forgotten most of the time. I mean, Gutsman shows up weirdly in other games as like a tank or something else, but when they have like compilations and so forth, no one's sitting there going, man, I really want to see Gutsman and Bombman come back so I can get their weapons again. No one cares about those.
The bomb was kind of weak.
The bomb sucked and had a long timer, and then the Gutsman weapon, like, you had to have the rocks in the stage for you to be able to do anything with it. That was terrible.
Yeah. It did, I think, usher in a completely new era.
Yeah, but I think, like, Mega Man was good as a pilot episode, but clearly the game that, really mattered was Mega Man 2.
Oh, hands down the best, in my opinion. My humble opinion.
It was... I don't know if I'd consider it the best. I still like Mega Man 3 better.
I can see that. I mean, Mega Man 3 was cool.
Mm-hmm. But it definitely, like, every element that you really want from the Mega Man games was basically in Mega Man 2. All the really good items, the really interesting weapons to use, the way the game was constructed, and, like, refights in a single stage area and all that. That was definitely all there.
Yeah, and it had, like, some interesting plot elements, too. Like, spoiler alert, Wily being a weird alien thing.
He wasn't, though. He was a holographic projection of the regular dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, that was kind of... Don't want to just shoehorn the entire Japanese storytelling method, but...
But it was also brutally difficult in places. Yeah. That game is mean. Almost as mean as the first one at times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The essentially one-hit kill you can always suffer from at the giant dragon boss at the end of the first stage. Like, oh, you hit me just right with your fireball, I'm dead.
Yep.
Yeah. Or like... There's more. The fact that the end boss can only be defeated by a single weapon, and if you
don't have it, you're SOL.
Yeah, if you run out of it, you basically have to lose all your lives and try again. Yep. Yeah, there's some tough stuff in that game.
Yeah, disappearing platforms are always my favorite.
Mm-hmm. And I think the reason I like Mega Man 3 is it tried to account for all the stuff that Mega Man 2 still needed to improve, while pushing the format further forward, like with
I think the difficulty curve was definitely lessened a little bit.
It was lessened there. I mean, to the point where Wily's Castle is almost too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but The Doc Robot stages, those are beastly.
Yeah. And I feel like that's when they started finally getting their sprites a little bit better too, because the animation was a lot more fluid.
Yeah, more fluid. The levels feel a little more detailed than even in Mega Man 2. The weapons are more useful in a lot of ways. I think there's like Mega Man 3 may have the best collection of overall weapons.
Yeah, I agree
even
with
though
that.
like it's hard to argue with how Mega Man 2 had Metal Blade.
Yeah. Metal Blade.
Metal Blade, the most broken weapon in the entire series.
Hope you're dead in 2 hits. What?
Everything's dead in 2 hits with Metal Blade. Oh.
Yeah. And then what's it, like 4?
4.
Ugh.
You don't like 4 either?
No, I don't.
Oh, thank God. I know a lot of people who love 4 online, and I can't stand that game. It's so dumb.
I feel like everything that they took from 2 and 3, they decided to kind of shelf and they tried to go in a weird direction, and
They definitely went a weird direction, and it's like they wanted to go broad with everything. Yeah. Like Toad Man and Pharaoh Man and just a bunch of stuff that like probably sounded good on paper, but once they actually went to do it, just didn't work.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, it just lost. I know it's a video game where you're playing a child robot fighting man robots, but
there's something off about Mega Man 4. I will agree. I think it's the best way to say it, because it takes a lot of the elements from Mega Man 3 that kind of worked, like the mid-stage boss or the mid-game boss of Doc Cossack instead of the Doc Robot stages, and a decent mix of weapons that are kind of useful at times, like Ring Boomerang is fantastic.
Yeah, I use that quite a bit. But I don't think I ever finished 4. I always got distracted or just moved on to 5.
Well, like Doc Cossack himself is interesting, but his castle wasn't really all that great, and the Wily castle afterwards is just really boring.
Yeah,
and that's a problem with from 3 onwards, the castles are almost an afterthought to the Robot Masters.
Yeah, I think that's true. Because 6 and 7 were kind of like that too.
I'm still working my way through them. I vaguely remember them, and I mean, saw 7 more recently, and 7 isn't very interesting. But then I don't like 7 in general.
No, I'm trying to, in my head real quick, just kind of go through my list of what my favorites are, and 7's definitely towards the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, 6 is odd.
Yeah, I like 6. 6 has its special place.
Yeah, 6 is odd, but it's amusing. Yeah. But 7, it's not the transition to the Super Nintendo that I hate, even though the transition changes the style of the game completely. Mega Man, the bosses are different sizes, the whole layout and everything. It feels too much like a Mega Man X game.
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, it's definitely borrowing from Mega Man X and not in a good way, because it ruins the classic charm of the original game.
Mega Man 8 was awesome. I like that.
You like 8? Because I hate 8.
It was on PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I liked it. It was also one of the first PlayStation games I bought, with my own money, so I think it might be a little bit more nostalgic.
The Mega Ball and the Rush Bike. And
I love the Rush Bike.
The stupid jump, snowboarding sections and all that.
I loved it. It was so cheesy.
Oh my God, it did not hook me.
The only thing that would make it better is if you looked at the camera at one point and said Cowabunga.
But, despite the fact that I hate 7, I really, and I know it's a difficult game, but I really kind of like Mega Man and Bass.
Which one?
Rockman and Forte. That's the
Super
Nintendo mid-series side spin-off.
I've never had a chance to play that.
I've watched a lot of speed runs of it, and I need to pick up the cartridge, the Repro cartridge, because you can't easily get it here. I think they may have done a Game Boy Advance release of it, but that one's also hideously expensive, I think, at this point to get. So, but for the game that it is, it's really interesting in its own way.
Yeah,
so,
I'll just pick it up. Yeah. Mega Man Soccer was garbage. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and most of the Game Boy games, they're odd in their own ways. I really like Mega Man 1, on the Game Boy, Dr. Wily's Revenge, but 2 is weird, and 3 is just hot garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one wasn't bad from what I remember, but I don't remember the third one at all.
Well, it's difficult and evil, and no one ever makes it through it, because it's just mean.
Ugh.
It's mean in the way that Mega Man 1 was mean. So, yeah.
It was like, these kids aren't ever going to beat this game.
No, yeah, I was watching a speedrunner recently going through it, and he's like, yeah, it's like the designers were actively trying to get you to not play this game somehow. So, how about Mega Man 9?
I liked it. I'm a pretty big Mega Man fan, so I don't hate any of them. All of them, I think there's something good about them.
Except Mega Man Soccer.
Yeah. I mean, he's still Mega Man. But 9, it's very unmemorable to me.
It's weird because a lot of people really like this weird return to form of Mega Man 2, but with Mega Man 3 flourishes. Better graphics and better music, and still retro-y, though, without the slide or the Mega Buster or anything.
Well, I might be thinking of 10.
10 was definitely less memorable than 9. Because 10 was basically just 9 with a different skin and some new bosses.
Yeah, I was thinking of the wrong game.
Okay. 9 you liked?
Oh yeah, 9 was awesome.
With Splash Woman and...
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't 10 have like...
Tornado Man, Hornet Man? Yeah.
Yeah, Hornet Man is fun, and his weapon was awesome. 10 had like Sheep Man and Sports Guy or something.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed at myself.
10 was definitely not memorable. It was just more of the same, and there's a reason why the system or the series like went into hibernation for a little while after that.
For a little while, it was almost a decade, wasn't it? More than a decade. It came out in 2010.
Yeah, I want to say it was a shorter hibernation than between like Rockman and Bass and 9. Yeah. And then there's 11, which came out recently and goes back to the weird 3D style with the upgraded graphics and stuff. And you liked that game.
I loved it. I bought it twice.
Really?
I have it on PlayStation and Switch. But I only bought it on Switch because I bought it on PlayStation originally because I wanted to play it, and then I saw the Switch copy with the amiibo.
New Mega Man 11 amiibo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
Bank didn't like it, but Josh likes it. So, and for some reason, I found it easier to play on the Switch than I did on the PlayStation.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I don't know. There's something missing about Mega Man 11 for me. There are some stages that are interesting, like Bounce Man. I think you were saying you liked Bounce Man.
It was frustrating at parts, especially when you had to like bounce exactly right to get to the next platform.
It was an interesting mechanic, though, and at least like there wasn't a lot of times where your bouncing would insta kill you.
No,
so that was at least forgiving.
Yeah, there were a couple times, but I always got stuck at the parts where you had to kind of like wall jump, bounce.
It's like Bounce Man feels like he's from a different, easier game than the stage for Flame Guy or Toast Man or whatever he is. Yeah, Scorch Man. That guy, whatever his actual name is, his level is just punishingly mean.
Yeah, I think I never finished that part yet. Because don't know if you know this or not, but there's no save spawn sheets.
No, you actually have to be a real person, not a scrub, to get through that game.
Yeah, and I'm a scrub. So
oh god, I'm so a scrub.
Like I love these games so much, but I am terrible bad at them.
But it's like that particular level feels like so there's sections in it where this flame wall comes pouring down the stage, and you have to run away from it. And the first couple times it's okay. Like, second time's kind of difficult. But then there's that third section in the stage of a flame wall, and like unless you have pitch perfect timing and know what you're doing, you're gonna die every time. And it feels like for a Robot Master stage in this game that has Bounce Man in it, that's too much.
His was definitely harder because like Acid Man's was, I thought, pretty easy.
Acid Man, well, and it was interesting, and it was a slow general build up to difficulty. But Toast Man, it was just like, if you don't know what you're doing, you're just dead. There's no chance for you at that point.
Torch Man was awful.
Torch Man, there you go. I like Toast Man.
I like Toast Man.
And then his
headcanon it.
And then his in the sequel he'll be Powdered Toast Man. And I mean, we could go into detail talking about like the Mega Man X series and everything else, but I don't feel like anything beyond the classic Mega Mans almost don't feel like Mega Man anymore to me.
Mega Man X, I bought the Legacy Cadet collection for those as well, and I was super excited to play them because I remember liking them as a kid. Played them as an adult, didn't like them as much.
I only liked the first two. Yeah, they're easy, which is part of the reason why I could actually finish them.
Yeah,
but it also like. Especially once you get almost in level the second game, and certainly by the third one, they stop feeling like they're Mega Man games as like run and gun survive the level, and more like here's all these things we've hidden, go find them all, and then maybe finish level. Like there's 4 real screens of level, and then everything else is just side passages for you to explore. Yeah. They stop feeling like Mega Man games.
Kind of felt more like a Donkey Kong-esque game for
like
me.
Collectathons and all that. Yeah, like one of those, or just Metroidvania, but really really light Metroidvania. Yeah. I mean, I know the Zero series eventually almost went Metroidvania with its style, but I didn't play those.
Yeah, they were okay. I played a majority of the Mega Man games, and the Mega Man Classic are my favorites. But
yeah,
Zero was always like the redheaded stepchild of the Mega Man universe
until they came out with ZX.
Oh.
I didn't even bother with the ZX games.
No, played one, and I promptly returned that one.
Weren't there only like 2 of them?
There were 2 or 3. Yeah,
I think there. Yeah, ZX and then ZX Advent or something, which I'm sure is actually right, despite the fact that I've never played it.
You are 100% right.
That saddens me. And then of course there's the Battle Network and the Star Force series, which is I know it says it has Mega Man in it, but
it's not Mega Man.
It doesn't feel like Mega Man.
No, not at all.
No. I mean, they're cool for what they are, little kid RPG games, but they're definitely not like.
I mean, if my daughter wanted to play Mega Man, I might start her there.
Yeah, I can see
games
that.
like that, but
yeah, start her on those, and then make her play the Mega Man X games before setting to the classics. Because
I mean, I kind of want to start her off on the classics because she was watching me play Mega Man 1 Legacy. She looks at me and goes, "You're really bad at this."
So you can have her see just how bad she is at it. Yeah, try and get through Cut Man, I dare you.
Try to jump on this ledge.
Here's the opening screen of Guts Man. Watch yourself die.
So, little
man,
flashbacks.
Okay, so, but I think we've clearly established that there are certain elements of the Mega Man games that work, and pretty much, like, even when they have a good game, like, let's say 9, or in your case, 11, it still isn't as good as the original, like, 2-3 combo.
No, I don't think so. Like, and I think that they're going to always chase that nostalgic 2 and 3, but they've never really quite captured it. Like, the time stopping thing in 11 was cool, but it's gimmicky.
It's another gimmicky mechanic that I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't bother putting it into 12 whenever they make 12.
And honestly, I never used it in the game. I would always forget about it.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I was more intrigued by the fact that you could quick summon the Rush versions and hot swap your weapons. Like, those were more interesting to me.
That was an amazing perk.
Yeah, just being able to have like a real like Robot Master weapon on and summon Rush Jet, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I wish every one of the Mega Man games had that at this point.
They should retroactively do that.
Yeah, well, and that was what I was going to lead towards. Like, if we were going to design the best Mega Man game we could, and I actually kind of wrote an article on this way back in the day, but I almost feel like it's not making a new Mega Man, but just making a Wily Wars style compilation of all the games.
Yeah.
So you can play through any of them, and then once you've played through the game, you unlock that version of Mega Man and all of his weapons, and then you can like go to a Otto's style shop, because Otto is the guy who runs the shop in the Mega Man games. I'm making sure the audience knows this.
Oh, I was like, I knew that.
I know you know, because you play these games even more than I do. But so you play the game, and like each time you play through the game, you earn more credits towards your Otto shop. So if you take Mega Man 1 and say play through Mega Man 3 with him, which means the game has to modify itself a little, take out the slide sections and so forth, because you just can't. But if you play through the game like that, then Mega Man 1 earns a certain amount of credits for having beaten Mega Man 3. Then you take that to Auto Shop, and then you can buy, like, I can now import 2 weapons from any of the games that I've beaten as Mega Man 1 to go in there. And that's Wily Wars style thing, you know? So, like, I want to take Metal Blade into Mega Man 11 and see what the hell happens to that. That would be take Metal Blade from Mega Man 2 into Mega Man 11 with Mega Man 1 as my guy. So it's that kind of cool, that kind of compilation. And then you just do all the main games 1 through 11 plus Mega Man and base, and then you do the Game Boy games as well.
Sure.
Which for the most part is just the same games on a smaller screen, so you don't really have to reprogram that much.
Yeah.
But I think that would be an interesting idea. Because they keep trying to chase the nostalgia, and I don't ever feel like they really get it. But why re-chase it when you have all these games people love? Just do them all in 8-bit style and package them into one big game that you can play.
Yeah. I mean, I'd kind of like to see him go a little further, too. And, like, every other classic 8-bit game has had an evolution. So, you know, Mario started off 8-bit. Now it's full 3D immersion.
Yeah.
Metroid's done the same thing.
Oh, the Metroid Prime games. Oh.
They're so terrible, but I love them so much.
I really love the first one, even though I can't beat the end boss, because the end boss is just crudely evil, but everything leading up to that is so gorgeously done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't get into 2 or 3, even though I tried, but the first game was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that in the Metroid
There
one.
we go. But
I just really wish Metroid would have evolved with the times as well, because it's a staple on the Nintendo.
you mean you're not a fan of Other M? The look of pain and distrust I just caused on your face.
That was that obvious, huh?
Anyway, you're saying.
But I would like to see, not necessarily like a 3D, first person shooter. But
Yeah, because they tried that with Mega Man Legends. And
yeah,
it just didn't work.
No. But I mean, you have like Super Mario
Odyssey?
Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey. And I felt like I had as much fun with that game as I did with Super Mario 3. And it kind of had that retro look to it too, a little bit.
Since we're not really talking Mario anytime soon, it's not on our list of topics to discuss. I do feel like there are 2 branches to the Mario series. And there's the side-scrolling platformers, and then there's the 3D exploration games that basically started with Mario 64.
Right.
And so Mario 64 has that and Sunshine and Galaxy and Odyssey, those games. And then everything else is definitely very much a platformer. The new games, the new Super Mario Bros. Games that have been included. And I even kind of lump Super Mario 3D World in there, because even though they're 3D games,
it's not really 3D.
No, they're open expanses, but they're very tightly controlled.
Yeah, they're pretty linear.
Yeah, they're very linear. So, and it's like, when I talk about a good Mario game, like recently, instead of Odyssey, I just love Mario 3D World. I thought that game was fantastic.
It was super fun, yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Such a good game. But, I mean, I don't know how you do that for the Mega Man games, because the second you put the camera over his shoulder instead of facing him straight on, like, it's going to feel like a different game.
Yeah, I don't get paid enough for those ideas. So,
it's the thing of, like, if you try and control, let's say you're controlling him like you're controlling Mario in Super Mario 64.
Sure.
So, distant but over his shoulder, and you get to shoot. The second you get to shoot, the game is just going to be wildly uncontrollable, because then you have to try and aim. And how do you aim on like a little 3D level and actually make it work? In the tight Mega Man style controlling. Like, they did those kinds of levels in Mega Man X6 or 7 or whatever, and God, they were ass. They were terrible.
So what they should do is play Castlevania 64.
And then don't do that.
And then don't... Yeah, exactly. Just whatever Castlevania 64 did, they do the exact opposite, and they'll be fine.
Like, I could see stylistically, if they did it like Mario 3D World, maybe a Mega Man game could work, but the control of the aiming is still what I would be worried about.
They'd have to evolve controllers quite a bit, I think.
Or just have Nintendo make it, because Nintendo's probably the only one that could actually make it and make it work.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of games that would be similar to it, and
I think you'd pretty much have to invent a new hybrid of Mario 3D World to actually make a Mega Man game like that work. I'm not saying it couldn't, and I would actually be intrigued to see like Mega Man 12 go this weird like linear 3D path. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like, I know you don't like it, but like an Ocarina of Time-esque type.
You're right, I don't like it.
I know.
No, but
Breath of the Wild, then we'll use that.
So you're talking like an open exploration one?
Yeah.
Where you just kind of wander your ass over to the next Robot Master area?
Because if you think about it, Mega Man already has RPG elements because he's going from Robot World to Robot World. So you just, instead of having the classic select a robot map, you're like, okay, I have to journey. I have to go this way and
deal with towns and like buy items and do stuff. And we've just reinvented Mega Man Legends.
Oh no! Well, this has been.
I think on that Bomb Man bomb, we need to stop right there.
I'm sorry for anyone who's listening. I did not mean to accidentally recreate Mega Man Legends.
Just did that. That's amazing.
Wow, I'm gonna go home and cry myself to sleep.
Right after we end this podcast, you were listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein. With me is the shamefaced.
I'm really sorry, guys, but this is Josh Schaefer.
We'll see you next time.